Let's get straight to the news. It's bad news, unfortunately. I've got it here on my phone. Look, just there. I'll tell you what it's... Actually, I won't tell you what it says until I put my glasses on. I'll tell you now. It says... Mohammed Kudus is not well and hasn't travelled to Serbia. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. Well, that is pretty much it, actually. Although there's a little bit more to say on it. That's come from West Ham Football, which, of course, is Sean Whetstone. I absolutely believe it. I think that's the truth. Now, it depends how you're going to look at it, whether it's... well, it's not. It's bad news, really, isn't it? But I think in terms of wrapping our players in cotton wool and ensuring that we have the best team possible to face Crystal Palace, it's good news. We also know that Jarrod Bowen hasn't travelled as well. I don't know if they've cleared that fluid off the knee or whatever, but it made sense. It made sense to wrap Jarrod Bowen in cotton wool and not send him as well. So, then of course we've got Michail Antonio, who is out. You know all that, you don't need me to tell you that. I think for a lot of people, our chosen front three would probably be Antonio, Kudus and Jarrod Bowen. Swap them around as you want. But with those guys not being available, David Moyes is going to have to come up with something very, very different. And I think two parts of it I wasn't concerned about at all. Now, let me just say, so I wasn't bothered about Ben Rama playing. I think that's pretty cool. I think certainly Mubama playing was something that I really wanted. The thing that concerns me is if Pablo Fornals plays in this game. I've got nothing against Fornals. I love him. I really do. I think he's brilliant. But he's not the same player. I'm not going to insult him by suggesting his mind's elsewhere. I again, like I do for a lot of players, I'll offer up a lot of mitigation. I do think he's sort of been ruined under the regime. It's at West Ham. It's not been helpful for him. He's been played for years and years, been played on the wing. He's not a winger. And I think it's sort of killed his creativity. As I've said on numerous times, David Moyes has turned him into a holding winger, a defensive wide player, whatever you want to call it. And I think now to ask him to go in and sort of play effectively at right wing or at left wing, it is going to be a little bit difficult. So for that reason, ahead of tomorrow's game, I'd certainly play Mubama up front. Forget about Ings, I'm just not interested. Now, there's a little rumour saying Mubama's not travelled. I don't know whether that's true. I sort of hope it's not. I'll play Mubama, I'll play Cornet on one wing and I'll play Ben Rama on the other. I think that's about as good as it gets. And I'll tell you what, if they can create some goals, then absolutely, fair play to them. I still do think David Moyes has got to rotate. But what better opportunity for him to play some of the youngsters? Now, I know I bang on about these youngsters an awful lot. And for a lot of time, I'm talking about the EFL trophy. I'm talking about Premier League 2. Well, let's go to last night. And last night was the Premier League International Cup. That is where West Ham play against some of the academy teams from overseas. Now, last night, West Ham played Olympique Lyonnais. We were 1-0 down, and George Earthy scored. I think it was in the 95th minute. I think Casey nodded it down. Earthy swept home. West Ham are top of the group. So let me just make this absolutely clear here. West Ham are top of their European group when they play against the European academies, right? When West Ham go and play against grown men in the League 1 and League 2 teams, so basically our under-21s, who are all much younger than under-21, by the way, go and play against Bristol Rovers, go and play face Cheltenham, Newport. We're top of that group as well. Undefeated, we won all the games, right? We're undefeated in this European group as well. Played 3 games, 1-2, drawn 1. Our youngsters are exceptional. The team is brilliant. It's magnificent. Let's go with that word, even better. If those players cannot get into the team now, when can they? It's time for David Moyes. David Moyes got no excuses. I don't want to see Danny Ings out there. I don't want to see Pablo Fornals out there. Now, don't get me wrong. We are far from guaranteed getting out of the group, but we are guaranteed European football. It's not like if we lose these games, we drop into oblivion. We go into the Conference League. Now, I just think with Crystal Palace coming up in a really, really important game, and I'm not asking for wholesale changes. Play Mavropanos. He's really been looking forward to playing. You should have heard what he had to say about Mubama. I was really, really glowing about him, actually. Play Agurd, by all means. Play Emerson. You get what I'm saying. Play Ward-Prowse. Play Paquetá. Honestly, do all that. But can we have 3 youngsters in the team, maybe 2 youngsters in the team, just something. Give them a chance. Even if it's in my team, I said earlier on, maybe Mubama, Orford, Chester's, maybe. Give them a chance. If not now, then when? And I just think now is the time. Before I go any further, can I please point you in a direction as today's video sponsor, which is BetMGM. Now, BetMGM is an app which allows you to predict, basically, the Premier League results. If you know what Super 6 is, you'll sort of get it anyway. Now, the reason I'm asking you to download this, well, firstly, it's good for Hammers Chat. I'm not going to lie about that. You'd be doing us a massive favour if you download it and use the link under this video. But also, there's a chance for you guys to win money. And the great thing is, this is a free-to-play game. Now, the game is called Golden Goals. The link's in the description below. It's BetMGM app. They'll ask you to sign up, but at the point where it asks you to pay a deposit, you don't have to. Just skip that. Just go straight to Golden Goals, and it'll ask you to pick out some predictions from this week's upcoming Premier League fixtures. I'll tell you what they are. The 6 this week are Arsenal v Wolves, Burnley v Sheffield United, Newcastle v Manchester United, Chelsea v Brighton, Liverpool versus Fulham, Man City v Spurs. If you think you can predict that, and you'd like to help Hammers Chat out, click the link below, go and have a go. Now, the top prize is a ridiculous £2 million. That's the jackpot. Don't get me wrong, you'd have to get all the 6 results right and have a look on the website itself. But there are smaller prizes as well, so you can win prizes even if you get 3. So, for instance, the Champions League group this last week, they had to predict 6 Champions League fixtures. 3 players shared out £5,000, basically. They won £1,666 each, which is really good. So they're great cash prizes, no outlay from yourself. Please do bet responsibly, though. There are other games that will cost money, but it's not a sneaky site. It's not going to take you off and make you spend on those. You don't have to deposit any money at all. We'd really appreciate it, Hammers Chat. We get a little pat on the head every time somebody downloads, but please use the link below so they'll know you've come from Hammers Chat. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. I'm really looking forward to tomorrow's game. I absolutely am, but I just don't think it's a massively big opportunity for David Moyes to try something different. When I say something different, try it Moyesy. Don't play Fornells, don't play Ings. Do something different. Give these lads a chance, because if you don't, after everything they've done, and they can't do any better than top their European group, top their EFL Trophy group, win the FA Youth Cup, they can't do any more than all this stuff. Be the best young team in the country, which they are. If they can't get a chance now, when are you going to offer them a chance? Tonight's as good a chance as any, and of course the next fixture afterwards. You save everybody, save people for Crystal Palace, and I hope Kudus comes back for Crystal Palace. I really hope Bowen does as well. I'll be going to the game against Palace. I'm sort of desperate for us to win, as I am all the time. But you know what? It's a really good opportunity for those young players.